All right. The next session, I see there are a few people who are still missing, but I hope they'll be able to catch up. So this next session, we are going to be it will be very technical and kind of practical. So I'm hoping you all have either your laptop, or if you don't have your laptop, maybe you can just listen in, but make sure you're seated next to someone who has a laptop, at least for you to see what's happening, yeah? Because it's important for us to also see how do we do it practically, and for you to ask. So you can power on your machine. You should have an email from me on the email address that you provided. So that email, I hope you've not yet clicked on the link. Okay, I'll resend the email in case you're stuck, but no worries. You should all be able to access that platform. So, the session we are going to look at, so we mentioned that we've built the lexicon, we've built the resources, we've built the idea, and we have a hypothesis, yeah? So the hypothesis here, you're trying to research religious extremism or extremism in general, and you want to understand what are people talking about, starting with social media, yeah? We also have the media, and that will cover probably a little bit later. But in social media, one of the key things you need to understand first is which is the biggest platform in the country. Who can tell me how they can determine that? How can you determine which is the biggest social media platform in your country? Or maybe we can brainstorm first. Which one do you think is the biggest in your country? Anyone? Facebook. WhatsApp. Okay, let me reframe the question. Which is the biggest public open social media platform? WhatsApp is closed, so yes. Facebook. Yes. So I hear Facebook, I hear TikTok, I hear Twitter, Snapchat. So let's prove it. All you need to do is do a Google search, yeah? So, and the first thing you need to search is social media statistics Nigeria. So there's a platform that will pop out, the first one, yeah? So there are several providers. All you need to do is compare the notes between the different providers who give you the responses. I tend to use this a lot. It's called gs.startcounter.com, and it's because it has a very comprehensive social media coverage analysis that can tell you which platform do we have many people using in our country. Yeah. So as you can see here, Facebook is the one that has the highest, followed by Twitter, and then followed by YouTube, then Instagram, then Pinterest, then LinkedIn. There? There was WhatsApp. Oh, that is encrypted platforms. WhatsApp is, of course, one of the biggest. But we are dealing with open source information at the moment, right? So you can't go into someone WhatsApp's conversations. We'll discuss that at the end of the training, how you can actually do that. But I think that comes after you've understood how public social media platforms, which are the biggest, how do you use it? So as you can see, Facebook is the one that is used the most. I think last year before the Twitter ban, Facebook and Twitter were almost the same, yeah? But after the Twitter ban, many people didn't use it, and at the moment, Twitter is now trying to gain traction after it was unbanned in Nigeria. So, let's now see. Now you have an idea of which is the biggest platform, right? Now, Because Facebook is the biggest platform, that means many users are actually on this specific platform. And that is the reason we are doing this as the first training session. How do you investigate meta products? So that is Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. So and I'll start with Facebook. Of course, there's also Instagram. But how do you access data on Instagram? How do you access data on Facebook? Related to the topic that you're interested in, and at the end of it all, how do you do the analysis, right? For you to actually tell a story from it. And we use a tool called CrowdTangle. So it's, as you can see the topic there, it says using CrowdTangle for advanced Facebook and Instagram monitoring. And here you're able to actually pick up the conversations using the queries and the keywords that we developed in the morning. Yeah. So you should have an invite to CrowdTangle. The aim of this session is basically how do you use CrowdTangle, and then how do you do social network analysis to investigate coordination or conversations or trending topics on Facebook related to the topic that you're interested in. But let's discuss what is CrowdTangle and what type of data is available through CrowdTangle. So it's a tool that is provided by Facebook. It was a separate company initially, but it got bought by Facebook, so because Facebook has a lot of money. But it got bought by Facebook. It's now part of Facebook products, and it's given to researchers, academics, and journalists to do research on Facebook. Yeah? Or on Facebook-related platforms, meta platforms, Instagram, Facebook. So if you don't have access to it, now you do. So make sure that you use it really well. The training we are going to do today will be focused on religious extremism, but you can actually use this knowledge to do anything, any type of investigation. The methodology is the same. My aim for today is actually to train you on methodology using the examples of religious extremism, but this applies to any other topic. So, it's a tool from Facebook, and it allows you to analyze, report on what's happening across social media platforms. It has access to Facebook platform, Instagram platform, Reddit, and also Twitter. So for Twitter, it only has access to the last 7 days. So you won't actually use CrowdTangle to do a very comprehensive analysis. So we'll show you a different tool. Fadel here will go into a different tool that you can use for Twitter analysis. But for me, I'm going to cover the CrowdTangle tool. So now that you know that, has there ever been products produced or reports produced using CrowdTangle? Yes, the answer is yes, because previously, like you can see here, this is NBC News, this is SNG. Which media is that? I think these are international media houses. They are primarily using Facebook to actually find information and to report on trends ahead of anyone else actually seeing the indicators. And this also applies to religious extremism, because it's a topic that many people are having on social media. They're actually talking about various elements of the platform itself. So welcome. I think we should give a fine for okay. So I hope you'll catch up. All right. So check your email. I know you have an invite from me. And then before you click on that invite, ensure that you're logged into the Facebook platform on your computer. And then you can now click the link. It will ask you to give the permission, log in with Facebook. It's their platform, so don't worry. It will just use your account for authentication, so that the next time you want to use the platform, all you need to do is go to this URL, and it will automatically log in through your account. Yeah. It's not paid for. It's not paid for, but it's only available for journalists, academics, and researchers. And it's only when you have partnerships with Facebook is when you get access to it. So can I use it without using your own dashboard? Unless you put in a request as your own organization to Facebook. Yeah. So they only give access to the organization, not you personally. Yes. So for now, I'm giving you access as Code for Africa but if you're interested, we can help you facilitate that conversation. As an organization, that is, yeah. So you'll need to get, of course, the confirmation of your senior management and your people internally that they want access to, yeah. All right, but for now, feel free to use it the way you would like to use it, not only on this topic. If you find that you're working on something right now and it's relevant, please go ahead and use it, yeah? Yes? Are you logged, on the phone. Are you logged into your Facebook account? So I think you need to use your laptop because I can see, yeah, this one is okay. So I see you're already on my next point. Don't create a new dashboard. that was the next thing. Don't create a new dashboard. Yeah? There is already an existing dashboard that I've added you to. It's called Realms. That's the dashboard that you found there. Religious extremism. Okay, I don't know how that came. It's supposed to be called religious freedom, but you can still use that dashboard as a yeah. So now that is anyone having challenges? Anyone with a laptop and you're not able to access it? So you see this thing. So you'll see, hey there, it's good to see you. Log into CrowdTangle. You'll say continue as your name, and then it will tell you getting started with CrowdTangle, and then now you'll have access to the dashboard. Yeah, click on that dashboard. Huh? I don't think so. Anyone with a problem? Are you all on the dashboard? Yes. Including the team there? Okay. That was very efficient. Previously, I had to sort many problems. Good. That is perfect. Yeah, you're on the dashboard. All right. So this is the view you need to be seeing. Fadel, you can also look at. Click on dashboard. Just click on dashboard. Click religious freedom. Okay, I've seen. So what you need to do if you're not seeing what I'm seeing, click on dashboards here and then select religious freedom. Okay, let's continue. Most of you are already there. If you're not, Fadel and Anita will assist you. So let's discuss what can you do with the dashboard itself. Yeah? So there are several sections that are interesting on the dashboard. The first one is, you'll see here we have notifications, we have create a list, we have saved searches, and we have this section where you can filter the information that you're interested in. The reason those four things are very important is because that is where now you plug in most of the information that you're interested in. So the first thing I'm going to discuss is lists. Yeah? What are lists? So lists are basically the entities that you want to track. A list or social media accounts for the entities that you want to track. And these entities include the Facebook profiles or the Instagram profiles of the people that we mentioned earlier. Yeah? So if you have a Facebook page that you've identified before to be sharing pro-IPOB conversations or to be sharing pro-Boko Haram conversations, then you have them. This is where you add them. You add to a list. So all you need to do is you create a list. You click on create a list. Oh, okay. I'm not on the platform. So you see create a list. It will ask you what type of list are you going to create. So this list can either be a list of Facebook pages or Facebook groups. Yeah. So, and I'll have to explain why we only have these two options. So the policy around GDPR and data protection is that I'm not able to see your individual profile on Facebook. So don't expect to see Alan's profile on Facebook, that you're searching for my profile, then it pops up on this platform. Because that is not open source information. Yeah? For that, you have to do some journalistic digging. Now you have to do the investigative work where if you're researching, for example, me, and I have an individual profile on Facebook, then you have to send me a friend request for you to be able to see content on my account. So we only have access to Facebook pages. So pages are usually public because a politician will create a page where they have followers, right? And then groups are also both private and public. We only have access to the public groups. Private groups are the ones that you have to request for permission to join. Public groups are the rest, where you don't have to request for permission to join. But specifically, that means you have data that is open. Anyone can see it on Facebook, but now you have a tool that makes that process easier. I hope that's clear, yeah? So I hope I won't be getting a call asking me why am I not seeing this person's profile. Yeah? It's because we only have access to the public pages and public groups. So even in your reports, please make sure you put that disclaimer. Don't say I looked at the whole of Facebook. That is not the whole of Facebook. This is just access to the OSINT part of Facebook, the publicly available data. Yeah, you can't. You have to join. Like you have to join and do your own research. Unfortunately, because of data privacy. Yeah? So that is why you have to select either of the two things. Then I selected pages, yeah? So let me start with pages because it's easier even to deal with pages. Groups are where you have different people actually join a group and then they discuss the issues. A page is where I will open a page that belongs to me, myself, and I'll share information as me, as Alan. That is why it's a page. So we take a page as a more trustworthy data source for Facebook because that is someone actually sharing their opinion. It's not a group of people discussing a conversation like in groups, yeah? So I hope that is also clear as a difference. So I've selected pages. The next thing you need to do is actually name the page. So I can say this is Boko Haram list. Then I'll save the name. So that is a list that you've created. You can give it any name that you want, even if you want to, of course, use a different name. But if I'm tracking Boko Haram, for example, on Facebook, I need to now enter the name that I'll come back and actually use. So for me, like within my team, I usually actually start with the region. So like this is West Africa, like it's just for tracking purposes so that when you have several topics in one, like you'll see here we have West Africa, then I'll say Nigeria, because you might also be tracking Boko Haram not in Nigeria, in another country, right? So you need to have like a strategic way of actually naming your post. So West Africa and Nigeria, and then you have Boko Haram. Actually, let me do this instead. And then you save the name. So you can have your own policy on how you want to name when you have access to the tool. But it enables me to do this. So like you can see, we run so many investigations like Russia, China, East Africa, Sahel, and you are able to actually arrange the list so that you don't like look for the list so much. It's good for you to have that kind of a practice. Now, the next part it tells you is to add pages. So here, you can search for the name of the person that you're interested in. So like for example here, we mentioned oh, it's here. So we mentioned someone called Al-Banawi, right? So also remember there can be fake accounts. So like this is not probably the real account of Al-Banawi. And also I know like when you're dealing with a topic like this, you might not be able to find the exact account because if I am Al-Banawi, I will not use my own name, right? So you need to be very careful and find the exact account, even if they are using a different name. I'll show you another way of also finding that, but let's see. Okay. Is that how it's spelled? So it will give you, it usually prioritizes verified accounts. So you will need to probably scroll for a this is Said Al-Mohammed Al-Ba, not that person. Okay, let me actually not search for it because I know it will take time. You need to spend so much time identifying these specific accounts. So this approach I'm training right now is starting from the entity. Like you're starting from the person that you know. Yeah? You're starting from, if I know this Facebook account belongs to this person within Boko Haram, I want to add them to a list, right? So you need to add them here, and you'll continuously see the post that they get. You can even set a notification, and you'll be able to see any post that they actually make, and especially the ones that are really getting attention from the public. So let me assume that, and I don't know if that is good, but let me assume that the profile I found is this, yeah? So let me just add a few. So let me assume these three are the ones that I already know. I'm not saying these are the ones, but let me assume these three are the ones that we already know. So all we need to do is click on this plus and you'll add them to the list. Then when you go to the view pages tab, you'll see that you have those three. You can still add as many as you want. And then when you go to posts, and I'll say this for the last 12 months, you'll now see posts that are trickling in from these specific accounts. And the most important part is that it arranges it based on the level of attention it's getting on Facebook. So like you're dealing with content that is actually getting or receiving a lot of attention on Facebook. Yeah? Okay. Now that we have the idea, let me just use a different one because we don't have names and accounts for Boko Haram people, right? There's a question? Yeah. Let me use another perfect example. So another example will be, let's say politicians in Nigeria. I think that one is okay, right? Sahel, Niger. Oh, I don't have politicians in Nigeria here. So I've imported from another dashboard. So I'll use that as an example. So let me just redo this. So here it is. So you'll see here, when I go to the manage section and the view pages section, I have a list of politicians that are here in Nigeria. So you'll see, I'm sure you're familiar with all these names, right? So you'll see all these names, and these are their accounts, because you can see even most of them are verified, yeah? So all these are politicians in Nigeria. They are not exhaustive, but I think this is something we can work with. So if you go, just to explain now the dashboard section and why it's important to use CrowdTangle to actually visualize what they are posting, and now relate it to the, imagine now you have like a list of Boko Haram accounts that you've put together, right? So use the same concept, yeah? But I'm using this as an example because we don't have that list yet. All right, so now that we have, you have all the accounts added to the platform, the first thing you can do is you can go to the posts section. Yes, you can take the mic. So I copied that list from a previous training so that we don't have to recreate in the interest of time, yeah? So if you refresh your dashboard, you'll see the Nigerian politicians list in this account, like in this section. So just use that instead. But I'm using this just for explanatory purposes. It's not related to the topic. So no one should criminalize me for that, yeah? Okay. So there are a few things I need to explain on what you're seeing on your dashboard. So there are several filters that you can see under the post section. So the filters, just to explain a few bit, is this is the time that you selected. So you want to see posts within this duration. So for the last 2 hours, has anyone on the list that I have posted anything? If you see here, it says that no overperforming posts like the one that you mentioned earlier. That means within that time frame, there's no one that has posted. Yeah? Then the next thing is the overperforming post. Now if you go to this section, this first filter, there is a list of overperforming, underperforming, total interactions, interaction rate, and most recent, right? You can see that on your end. So overperforming, and let me actually start from total interactions so that it kind of builds up. Total interactions is basically, Facebook is taking all the posts from these people within the duration that you selected, and then it's calculating the total number of likes, comments, and shares on that post. Then it's totaling that up, and it's now giving you down here. So it's like how many people have liked the post, how many people have commented on the post, how many people have shared the post. Then it's doing a total of that, and then it's now giving you the first post here is the one that has the highest number of interactions. And that is important because you don't need to be looking at a post from, let's say, Boko Haram that has 1 like, right? Like, it's not that trending. It's not being receptive. The public is not being receptive to that. You should be worried with posts that are actually receiving a lot of attention from the public, yeah? So that is the first thing. Then once you see, so I'll filter this by total interaction so that we just practically see it. So you see now the post from EK is actually the one that within the last 2 hours is the most overperforming. And the reason is because he's received 415 likes, 224 comments, and 26 shares. The total of this is the highest compared to any other post that has been made over that period of time. Yeah? So that is the first thing you need to know, total interactions. Then the next thing is the interaction rate. So the interaction rate is basically how many followers do I have in my account? That is the first element. Then the total interactions. So if I have 20,000 followers and then the total interactions is 1,000, it is that ratio. Yeah? And that is important because you also need to try and understand how many people that are following this person are actually interacting with the post. So I might have 1 million followers, but I only have 10 likes, then it doesn't really have an impact, right? So it's important to know, because someone might have a very small follower ratio. So someone has, let's say, 1,000 people following him, but all these 1,000 people are commenting and liking. And then you'd be super interested to know why, right? So that is the reason that filter is actually very important. Then the next one that is interesting is most recent. This is just listing it by the most recent, like which is the most recent post from all these 20 accounts or 30 accounts that I'm monitoring. So it filters it by that. And then finally, the one that I'm usually very interested in is underperforming and overperforming. This is very important because how it calculates it is, imagine the Instagram, your account on Instagram, right? There's that one picture that you post, yeah? And then it kind of overperforms or underperforms. So let's say normally you get 50 likes or 100 likes, or you get 30 comments, yeah? There's an average that you normally have, right? Like there's a scale of, I know everyone has that. So if you post that picture, there's one that normally overperforms, like it gets so many, a lot of attention. Or there's that really underperforms, no one really likes it or no one really looks at it. So that is this specific element. So there's overperforming and underperforming. Overperforming is really good because if a person who is, let's say, discussing extremism, posts a picture or a post on Facebook and then it's overperforming, that means many people, on average, he has like, or she has like several likes and comments, but this one is overperforming, meaning many people are actually interested in it. So it's more powerful than the total interactions because it's not only looking at how many people, it's actually comparing to like the previous posts and looking at, is there something that triggered this interest, right? So that is where now your mentality will go. Why is this post overperforming? And I think that is very powerful. Underperforming, I don't think I've ever used it, but it's there for you to have it in case there is one use case that you can have. So that is why that filter is very important. And you'll use it also in the other section of CrowdTangle. So you've created a list, you know how to operate the dashboard. So now let's go to the other part. The other part is, how about if you want to search for a specific keyword within the posts of these people, right, on your list. So you're interested in seeing, has this person ever mentioned in any of their posts this specific keyword? And I'll do an example of even using Boko Haram with our politicians, yeah, because that can be an idea. Which politician over the last 1 week has mentioned Boko Haram, right? So that can be a good thing. So what you need to do is click on saved searches, then click on new search. And then you select under pages, you select pages because you're looking at politicians and their pages. And then here, sorry, let me just sit down. Here now you enter the keyword here. And then you can click on, so you can click on advanced, then you can say search only within this list, and then you target it to the list that you created. And then that is okay, and then you click on search. Oh, I need to expand. So this is the last 30 minutes. So it says there were no posts, so no one has actually mentioned it in the last 30 minutes. But let me actually put the last 12 months, just to be safe. Yeah? Then click on search. So you can see the one that is overperforming with a mention of Boko Haram is actually this post from Femi Fani Kadoe. I'm hoping I've pronounced. Is that the pronunciation? Apologies. Yeah. And if you expand this post, there should be a mention of Boko Haram. So you'll see here, there's actually a mention of Boko Haram. Yeah? So this is how you actually interrogate a topic on Facebook, because now you have a list of people you're interested in. But you want to know, have they ever mentioned this on Facebook? And now you can see he has. It's probably related to something that you know, hopefully. But if you now scroll down over the last 12 months, you can even tell that probably it's only him who's spoken a lot and is getting attention about Boko Haram. Yeah? So you can see there is even, wow, okay. So you can see how powerful the tool is, right? Like you can actually do, and you can even do it on a specific person's page. So you can say, I want the president of Nigeria today and look at, I want to know how many times he's mentioned these specific keywords. And you're actually able to do that, yeah? So that is one way of doing it. And that way, I've trained you on how to do a search, right? The other advantage with the search is you can actually save it. So if you click on save search, yes. Okay. Which other keyword do you want me to use? So if you click on search, there's more search options. Oh, I said advanced, sorry. It's more search options. It's called more search options. You can see it? You can see it. Have you clicked on search? Do you have a new search down it? Have you clicked on this button here? Yeah. More search options. Okay, now as I mentioned, now that you have that keyword, you don't need to do it again or search for it again, yeah? I hope everything is still working. Okay. You don't have to search for it again. You just create that keyword and it will populate, you'll always have to just come and click on that and it will automatically search for it. All you need to do is now just adjust the time period and you're perfect. You have now the post that you need. So let's just give it a minute. Any questions so far? Give the mic.
I observe that this thing you are teaching us is technical. Yes. And the way you are going at your own pace, and I don't know what measure you can give us to ensure that we assimilate it and then so that we follow you. It will not just be as you taught us few minutes or whatever after.
No.
But I've forgotten.
You always have access to us, right? Okay. You always have access to us. If you need any technical advice,
okay.
You have my WhatsApp number, you have my email.
Yes.
Anita is here in Abuja. You can always reach out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. So you've created a saved search. Where is this cursor? There we go. So you've created a saved search. Now, the next thing I want to show you is a saved post. So say for example, you've created a saved search, and then once you did your search, so like I did this for the last 12 months, and you find that this post is very interesting to you, you need somewhere to store it, right? Like you need somewhere to actually store it. So this drop down next to the post here, you can actually click on it and say, save this post. And then you can name it. Which kind of post is this? So you can say religious freedom. So like that is the topic that you add it, and then you say add post to this list. That way you have somewhere that you've kept the post that you consider to be interesting. And if you go to the saved post part, you'll now see this topic you created, and once you click on it, you'll see the post that you added. So like you always have access to the information that you found to be interesting. So that way you keep track of the interesting post that you found. Even when you're writing a report, you don't have to copy the link, go I don't know where, save it, and then it's very tiresome. All you need to do is save the post, save the post, save the post, and then when you're writing your report, you can now reference back to the post. Yeah. Always remember, if you save an interesting post, always also archive it. So like there are archiving tools on the internet, so always archive the post so that if someone deletes that post, you still have a copy. So that is the only other element I want to add. Alright, so that is good. The next thing is the notification part. So you'll see here we have manage notifications. So notification is important because this is where now you automate the process such that if the list that you created, if there's so many posts related to that topic that you created, then it notifies you. So that you are actually ahead of the curve. You don't hear it from anyone else. You get it as it's happening. Yeah? Yeah. The one I always use is the viral alert. So I won't train everything because of time, but please explore the rest. I'll only look at viral alerts because I consider this to be the most important. Viral alert is an alert that is sent to your phone or your account or your email when something is going viral. Yeah? So always know that that is where now you need to be very careful about. So you can say, I want to create a viral alert on my topic, religions, extremism, and then I want to, of course, use this list. So like you can say, I have this list that I created. So like let's say politicians, and whenever you remember overperforming score, so it uses the overperforming score. Whenever there's an overperforming post that reaches a certain threshold, then notify me. So that you don't have to come back and check every single time, right? Like you should have the ability to sit, have some fun, but whenever there's something that is happening, you get a notification. That way now you even go to the platform. So you can say the score, you can say a minimum of 10 times. So like if a post is overperforming more than 10 times of the normal average of that account, then tell me. Or that list, it can be a whole list that you created, then tell me. So that way you have like, so I'll say this, if it overperforms more than 10 times, please notify me. If you click on show options, you can even add other people that you want to notify within your organization if you have like an organization account. Yeah, or if that person is part of this dashboard, you can actually say also notify this person, also notify this person, so that if you're working in a team, you already have access to like how you can get notifications. Yeah, then you can select all these options. So like you please go ahead and look at all these options, and then just click on create and subscribe, and then you'll see this is it's on. So that means whenever there's a post that overperforms related to the topic and the list that you're interested in, then you get an alert or a notification. Yeah? So that is all you need to do to know on the dashboard. I don't know if there are any questions. I've discussed notifications, lists, saved searches, and saved posts. Any question? No questions. All right. Now, as I said, this approach is the one that you use when you have a question. Okay. How you can? So you need to archive it. So I would advise you to get so like if I go to the saved post that I have, so this one, and then if I'm interested in this, all I need to do is go to this drop down and say go to post on Facebook. So it will open the post on the Facebook platform. So you'll see here, this is the post. I hope it doesn't have a video. It has a video. Okay. So this is the post that I was interested in. So I would advise you to get an archival tool. So you can go to, which are the ones that we use, Anita, the most? Archive.org. So if you go to archive.org, so this is a tool that you can use to archive it, because you only need to enter the link here. So like you just come and copy this link, copy it, go to archive.org, then under this section you will see it tells you save a page now. You see here, save a page now. Then you paste the link here and then you click on save. So what archive.org will do is it will collect that information from Facebook and archive it, and you can use it for your story because it will never be deleted. Yeah? So you have evidence, in short. Yes, you will still have it. So no one can say I never posted that. Yeah? Because this is an archive that is trusted by many people worldwide. Okay, so now that you've saved that post and you have a method of doing it, now let's look at how do I search. I don't have an idea of anyone who is talking about Boko Haram. I don't have an idea of any Facebook page that talks about Boko Haram. I don't have an idea of anything. I just want to know who is talking about it. Yeah? Now, that is where you go to the next section, which is this specific section of search. Do you see the search? Let me actually expand it. Okay. Can you see it? Yeah. So now you go to the search button. Has anyone seen the search button? Yes, it was next to your picture. Okay, you can't see it when you're on this view, but you should, it's just on the top. There's dashboard, intelligence, something else, and then there's search on your screen. No, this one is already moved to the next screen. You're on the search, right? So here. Yes, the search button. Everyone is there? Okay. Now, on the search button, this is where you now play around with what we discussed in the morning. Yeah? So you remember we put together a list of entities, like Boko Haram, we put a list of people that are mentioned. We also put a list of some of the keywords that is possible someone can use on Facebook or on Twitter or on any other social media platform. So, let me just pull together that list. So this is the list, yeah? So I'll copy all the responses that we had. Then I'll go to CrowdTangle and I'll paste them here. So you see that we have all these keywords. There are so many, okay. There we go. So we have Boko Haram, IPOB, MEND, ISWAP, ANSA, herdsmen. So you have all these keywords. And remember, it's not exhaustive, yeah? But you just need to find out who is mentioning these keywords on Facebook or on Instagram or on any other platform. So all you need to do is now use the operators that we talked about. And you create a Boolean query. So the query can be, because I'm interested in only Boko Haram, I'll remove all these other ones. But remember, you can add them. So let me do this until Badocult. So I've deleted all that. Then I need to use a keyword called AND. So AND here, what it does is it puts together the keyword that you have on your right and the keyword that you have on your left. So it pulls any post that mentions this keyword on your right combined with the keyword on your left. Yeah? So like it doesn't only look at, so it doesn't just search for or this or this or this, because those will be too many posts. You're only interested in when Boko Haram is mentioned, or killings or violations of human rights or kidnapping or imposition. If anyone mentions that on Facebook, you get that data. Yes.
Sorry, Alan. The interface we have here seems to be different from what we had before. How did you get here? I'm just trying to.
Oh, the search. You're not on the platform.
Yeah, but
yes.
At least if you could just go back a little to
okay.
give you an idea when I get.
So let me save this. Actually, let me just copy Control-AX. So this is where we were, right? So how to get to the search platform is on top here. So you see here we have dashboard, live displays, intelligence, and then search. So all you need to do is click on search. Then it will bring you here where we have now the search platform. Then the query that you enter is now up here. So like you now type your queries. So this is, so here you use, I don't know if in Nigeria they teach board mass. Definitely. Board mass. So here you use board mass because brackets always come first, right? So like whenever you put something in brackets, it prioritizes looking at that specific information. So here I've opened a bracket, then the next bracket should be closed somewhere, but I have another opening bracket. But this one is because I have different key terms that I still want to consider. I don't want to only search for killings, right? I also want to search for mentions of kidnapping. I'll remove this because it's a very long word. I don't think many people type so much. Or you can even remain just with human rights. So let me actually do it as we continue. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find posts that mention Boko Haram, or then the post itself also mentions killings. So and here makes sure that Boko Haram has to be there. Any of these other keywords will have to be there. So there's killings, then as I said, I'll remove this. Remember when it's two words, you need to put them in quotes so that it looks for the exact word. When it's two or three or like multiple words. But if it's a single word, no need to put them in quotes. Then I'll put or, so like I'm using for the different variations or kidnapping. So I'll remove this. Yes. So like you're telling the tool this or this or this or this so that it looks for any of those keywords. If you use and, what it will do is it will try to find a post with all those keywords. So like a post that mentions rape, killing, kidnapping, which is very rare. Like, it's very rare for someone to actually mention all those, right? So you need to put or because you're trying to find either of these. Please give me the result if either of this is mentioned. So you have carry guns, stay at home, so remember if it's two or three words or multiple words, you put them in quotes. You can even retain curfew. Okay, I'll remove the rest, the interest of time. I'll retain things such as churches or mosques, schools. Okay, then we have the list of leaders. Do we use or and here? think that's enough, so I'll delete the rest. Okay, so you've put together, this is now what we call a query. I hope it's now clear how we've built it, right? So a query is basically a combination of the keywords or the entities that are on your watch list, the keywords that are of interest, and then finally the, what is the next thing? The Boolean operators, so the or, and all that. So once you have that, now you select which platform. Which platform do I want to search in? So here you'll see we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Reddit, we have Twitter. So for me, I want to search on Facebook. All I need to do is select Facebook. I want to select Facebook pages and Facebook groups. So like I can look at Facebook pages or Facebook groups, and I want to say for the last 30 days, right? And then I want to search for that. Where is my... What happened? My query disappeared. History. Okay, let me just use a very simple one because it might take time to recreate. So, I want to search for there we go. So now that, so what I'm searching for is basically any mention of Boko Haram or any mention of Boko Haram together with either insurgency, banditry, terrorism, which other keyword there? So any of these other keywords that we mentioned, you remember? So like terrorism, kill, abduct, rape, sit at home, gunmen, and non-gunmen. So I'm either searching for those keywords, any of those keywords together with Boko Haram on the same post. And then it will tell you how many posts there are. So there are like 7,000 posts within the last 30 days that mentioned Boko Haram in the context of any of these keywords. You get? Then now when you scroll down, so the first, you remember the filters, overperforming, underperforming, most recent, total interactions. This one adds a little bit more. You can sort by the oldest or the newest or the most video views, like the video that had the highest number of views, most shares. So it gives you some bit of flexibility. But the one that you always need to look at is overperforming, right? Which is the one that people are actually interested about the most. So it's this one from News of Nigeria, and it has to have mentioned Boko Haram somewhere, and also one of those keywords. So I see there is, I'll have to look for it. It's a there's killing here. Is there Boko Haram? Yeah, so there is Boko Haram here. The more refined your query is, the better your chances of getting a good post. Yeah. So you always need to try and think of how do I know what someone might post? Like that is how your mindset needs to be. What is the possibility that someone can use this word or this word? Then you build that list. You build the list of entities. You use the Boolean operators. You combine them, add them to the platform. It gives you the results. So just imagine of the possibilities. Any conversation you're interested in, you'll actually get what people are saying about it. So that is as simple as it is. Then, now that you know these are the people who are talking about this topic, right? Now you can now profile these people. You can now probably add them to a list. If you find that there's someone who's been reflected the most using talking about this topic, you add them to a list, and then you continue monitoring them. And this way you also have like posts that you can consider. You can try and say, over the last 30 days, these are the people, this is what the people have talked about online, right? All right, so that is, I'm done. That is it. Any questions? Or you're still digesting? It's complex. You need to play around with it very many times for you to get it right. You won't get it right on the first try. You always need to try, and then, yeah. The trick here is the query, by the way. Just the query. How do you arrive at the best query to use? Yeah. Remember, you can also use different languages, because someone might mention Boko Haram in a local language. Or if there is, someone might mention insurgency in a local language or banditry in a local language, and you're able to actually find those pieces of content. Okay, so, and I've seen this picture has trended. Yeah, I don't know who he is. And it can even show you, so the advantage of doing this timeline here, it shows you the spikes. So like where many people were actually mentioning that keyword, and then you try and consider what was happening around this time that many people are actually mentioning this keyword. Yeah. So that is it. You're able to now search for the conversation on social media, but you're also able to start from a person's account and find the information that you need. Yeah. Remember, this is only Facebook. You can, the advantage is you can also save this search so that you don't have to write the query again next time. You can call it what you want, and then you can save it. That way you already have this query, and all you need to do is rerun it every single time and see what pops up. You just need to change the duration here. You can say the last 5 days, the last 24 hours, 7 days. And that is it. Then I want to invite Fadel. You've had my voice for so long, right? So I want to invite Fadel to just discuss Twitter. How do you do the same on Twitter? Unfortunately, the platform itself is not free, so we are not able to offer access for now, but we can offer access to the data anytime that you want. Yeah, like if you build your query, you can use an open source tool, but I don't think it will be. Yeah, you can always arrange with your newsrooms to see if they are able to have access. So the platform itself, I think the cost is about, what is the cost? It's about $10,000 a year for the Twitter tool. So it depends if the newsroom is willing to invest. But the key thing here is if you need any, you can use some open source tools, but it won't be as comprehensive or as perfect as the tool that we are going to demonstrate. But if you need any data, please create your query, send to us, we'll send you the data. Yeah? The Twitter tool, yes. It's called Meltwater.
Good afternoon, everyone. Right. Welcome to the second part of this session on an introduction. Okay. Okay. So welcome to the second part of this session on an introduction to Twitter investigation. Let me first introduce myself. I'm Fadel. I'm from Senegal, and I work at Code for Africa as a deputy manager within the investigation team with Alan. So I'm a machine learning scientist. Sorry? Maybe, yeah. So I work with text data and image data, and as you know, it's related to journalism data, where we work all the time with images, videos, and text, etc. So in this session, we'll present some tools so that you know how you can run some investigation on platforms such as Twitter. So you've seen how you can run some queries with a platform like CrowdTangle for Facebook or Instagram or Reddit, big Reddit data. Yeah. So now we will see for Twitter data. All right. Okay, so today we will be presenting 3 different tools, and the 2 of them are free. You can use it, and we will try them today. And the last one is Meltwater, which is unfortunately not, which is a paid software. So the first tool is for investigating Twitter data is Twitter itself. So the platform on Twitter offers an option to investigate on Twitter data. So which is the Twitter user interface and search. We also have another tool which is called Twitternomy, and finally I will walk you through Meltwater. Okay, so as I said, the first tool for investigating Twitter data is Twitter itself. So we have on the Twitter interface, Twitter user interface, we have like a search bar which is somewhere here. So the search bar is here on the very left, on the very right hand side. So in this search bar, unfortunately, you cannot use this functionality for advanced search on your phone, on your mobile phone. So this functionality of advanced search can be used just with your laptop. So with the advanced search, what you can do, usually on Twitter, you can, on the search bar, you can just type someone's name, like, or you're looking for a hashtag, or you're looking for a specific Twitter account. But with the advanced search of Twitter, you can look for any interaction that has happened between two accounts, or if you're looking for any keywords or any. So this morning you've identified a lot of keywords, some key terms when you're doing an investigation on mapping extremist group. So in this case, you can look for different key terms or different accounts on Twitter that are interacting related to this extremist group. So an example of syntax is, for example, if you're looking for any interaction or any relationship between two extremist groups, let's say you're looking for a relationship between Boko Haram and IPOP, for example, and you want to see if there were any interaction between these two extremist groups on Twitter, right? So what you can do is, for example, you can go to the search bar, to the advanced search, and maybe you can, if you're interested in the interaction between Boko Haram and IPOP, for example, you can type from Boko Haram, like if Boko Haram has an account, a Twitter account, or any account that is affiliated to Boko Haram that is in Twitter. So you can type from that account, that's account name, the username, to another account, like to maybe the IPOP account, the IPOP Twitter account, right? And you can see in that case all of the interactions, all of the messages, or all of the tweets or retweets that they have, not messages, all of the tweets or retweets that they have shared together, right? And you can also set the date, like you want to see all of the interactions that happened from, let's say from day one, or from the day when those accounts were created until today, or until, let's say, last month, etc., etc. You can also look for a hashtag. For example, you're looking for a specific hashtag. Let's say you have this morning you mentioned stay at home, for example. If there is any trend or any post that has that hashtag stay at home, you can specify that hashtag on this search bar. So let us try with an example so that you can see exactly how it works. So this is similar to the search that we just saw on CrowdTangle with the dashboard. So it also offers this same or this similar advanced search window where you can specify the keywords you're looking at, the different time range where you want to see the interactions, or even you can specify what are the most viral posts that you're looking at, the posts that has like more retweets or more likes or more comments, etc. So let us try with an example on the Twitter platform itself. So you can try it yourself. You can go to your Twitter account on your laptop, but unfortunately it doesn't work on your on mobile phone unless there are some very recent update on Twitter. But you might need to connect with your laptop on your Twitter account, Twitter platform. So if you are on your Twitter account, you can click on the search bar. Let us do it together. Alan, can you? Sorry? Yeah, you just go to Twitter. So I want to connect with your. Can you connect just with your Twitter? Yes, open. Okay. So let's do it with Alan's Twitter account. So you can see it here. We have on the right-hand side search Twitter, right? So this morning we've built a lot of keywords. So let's say we're looking at Boko Haram. Okay. So let's just type Boko Haram. Okay, so you have a lot of posts where people have mentioned Boko Haram, right? So we're interested in advanced search. We don't want just to see like the word Boko Haram, but maybe you want to specify some other keywords, right? So here you have the three dots on the search bar. So you click here on more, and we have advanced search, right? So once you click on advanced search, so here are the, so here, this is the section where you can specify all of the keywords that you're looking at. So let's say you're looking at Boko Haram and let's say violence or terrorism. So what you need to do is you specify the word terrorism. Okay, with let's say rape and killing or kill. Let's just put kill. Okay, and if for example you have like an exact expression or an exact phrase that you're looking at, you can type that that phrase here. If there is a specific, let's say someone mentioned like a very famous phrase, and you're looking at the people who made a tweet or post about that, you can just mention that or type that phrase here, all right? Or you can also, so here in this case we are doing all of these words. So all of these words is equivalent to the operator n, the Boolean operator n. So we want to see terrorism and rape and kill, right? So you want to see all of them appearing at the same time. So that's what we mean by all of these words. But if you're interested in just one of them, like which is equivalent to the OR operation, we just type those words here, like any of these words. So let's say we want Boko Haram. Okay, so let's do that here. So let's, okay, so we want to see Boko Haram and terrorism, or Boko Haram and rape, or Boko Haram and kill, right? And you can also type any other keywords that you've identified this morning, right? If you don't want to see a specific word, so let's say you want to see all of the posts on Boko Haram and terrorism, but you don't want to see a post where the word Islam is mentioned, for example. So you want to exclude a specific word, right? You can just type that word here. So let's say I want to see Boko Haram and terrorism, but I don't want to see a post which is talking about Islam at the same time. So you just want to see maybe what's happening, right? So you can type a specific word here, let's say Islam, for example, right? Oh, sorry, Boko Haram, yeah, so. Huh? Oh, I copied this. So I'm looking for Boko Haram and any of these keywords, right? And I don't want to see the word Islam in my post, right? If there is a specific hashtag that I'm looking at, if there is a specific hashtag that is trending, for example, I can type that hashtag here, right? If I'm interested in posts only in English, for example, I can specify it. So let's say I'm interested in what is English? Okay, so let's say I'm just interested in posts in English, for example, right? If you have targeted some specific accounts, some specific Twitter accounts, you just paste the ads of those accounts, like the username of those accounts, etc. So this window is very descriptive, and you can see exactly, like if you're looking for something very specific, you can just type it in any of these fields, right? And you can also look at some. Let's say you're looking at the most popular, or the most viral post on Twitter. So let's say you want a post that has at least 300 likes, or a post that has at least 300 replies. Or let's say, for example, on Twitter, the way that people amplify one post is by retweeting. So when someone is retweeting, so it gets to more people. So let's say you want to see the posts that are very popular. So you can say, okay, I'm just interested in posts that have at least 500 retweets. Okay, and you can also specify the dates. You say, I'm interested in posts starting from January 1st up to today, or from January 2010, etc., etc. So it's up to you to specify the date range. So this is one tool where you can investigate on Twitter. It's free. Anyone with a Twitter account can use it, right? But the problem is with this is that you cannot directly download the data for analysis. If you want to download it, because you can see the results, but if you want to perform like further analysis, you have to download the data and do some work behind. but this platform doesn't offer you to download the data. However, there are some other tools like the Twitter API that you can use to download data, or some, if you are familiar with some coding, there are some scraping tools that are Twint or TweetPy where you can scrape and download data. There are also some other tools, but those are paid software, and we will see one of them that helps to do a little bit the same. But if you want to download data, you also need to pay, right? So this is one first way where you can investigate on Twitter. So if you've built your lexicon as you did this morning, you've identified the most sorry? Of your data or of the data that's you? Okay, let's see. No, that's your data. That's your own Twitter data, but not the data that you see here. That's your own Twitter data. And you cannot just do like copy and paste, right? If you just do copy and paste, you don't know how many results you will have. Copying and pasting doesn't really make sense. So you need to have a data in a specific format, let's say on a file, a CSV file, on Excel file, Excel sheet, where you have usernames, the text. Twitter downloader, I've not tried. I'm not really sure about that. Okay. Great. So that is the first tool where you can investigate for free some Twitter data if you already have the keywords, if you've done your investigation, if you built your lexicons and etc. etc. So that is the first tool, which is Twitter itself, right? The second one that we will use is it's called Twitternomy. Okay. Okay. So what is Twitternomy? Twitternomy is just a tool for analyzing Twitter accounts and their activity, and it's also great to identify indicators of suspicious or bot-like behavior on the platform. So it's a free tool that you can use. So you just need as well to sign in with your Twitter account, and you can have this amazing dashboard that you see on the other side. So we will look at this together. But another problem with, not a problem, but if you also want to download the same thing from Twitternomy, you have to pay a little amount of money. But the advantage with this is that it already does some analysis for you. Like you already have some results. You can know how many tweets did this person do during the month. Like who is he reacting the most with? Like you can have a lot of information related to a specific account. So we can look at this tool together. So Twitternomy, let us. Twitternomy? No, it's an online. It's a website. There is a link. You don't download this. Okay, so we are connecting with Alan's account. So you always need a Twitter account to connect to this platform. Either the Twitter search and the Twitternomy, right? Okay, so here you can see this is kind of like Alan's dashboard, right? What's on his timeline? Like what you see when you just connect to with your Twitter account on your mobile phone, right? So if you want to analyze a Twitter profile, you just come here, right? So let's analyze Alan's profile itself, right? So if you click on this one, so you have a lot of information regarding your own account. So you can see that he has more than 2,000 people. He's following more than 2,000 people, and 1,300 people are following him, right? So he has made 916 tweets from from 6th of June of 2011 to today, right? So these are a lot of information that you already have from this platform. And usually, if you don't have such a tool, you will need like some another tool to build this by yourself, like to get some more information related to a specific account, right? So you can see some of Alan's tweet, right? His followers. You can see his activity. When is he active the most, right? From 2011 to today. So there are some days when he was inactive, some days he was active. You can see. So these are some good indicators if you want to, mostly if you want to detect if an account is authentic, if it is like a bot account or if it's not. Because bot accounts, they are always active. They can make more than 100 posts per day, and that is not normal. So that is an indicator that this is not a personal account. This is a fake. This is a bot account that is just keep retweeting or keep writing some specific message, right? So you can also, So you can also have like, what are the tweets or what are the people that he's interacting the most. So you see that here he's retweeting mostly tweets from Code for Africa, tweets from Code for All, tweets from Justin, etc., etc. So here you can already build kind of a network. So you can see who Alan is reacting the most, right? And who is replying to, right? So here you can have like an information, like a general information on someone's Twitter. So you can even see what are the days when he's mostly active and at what time exactly, right? But here, if you want to download the data, so here you can see download tweets analytics in a PDF, right? No, it's not this one. It's here. Yeah, if you want to download all the tweets, you have to come here, download and print. Why is it not coming? We have like, okay, no, how come that this is okay. Okay, so actually I've downloaded all the data from like all the tweets and retweets that Alan has made, like from the specific. I think that is because it's his own account. Like you can download the data from your own account, right? But if let's say for example you're investigating on my own account. So let me type my okay. So this is my own account. So let's say Alan is investigating on my profile, right? So he wants to get like my Twitter account behavior. How many tweets did I do? So I joined like on April 27, 2019. I have 200 tweets overall, etc. So these are a lot of information about my Twitter activity, my retweets, the people I'm reacting, I'm replying to the most, etc., etc. So if for example, let's try to download this data. Exactly. So you can see here, to download tweets and get access to many more, you need to upgrade. That is because you are downloading data from someone else, right? But if you are downloading your own data, you don't need to. You can have access, but because you're trying to download data from someone else, right? But your own data, you can get it all the time, even on Twitter, the Twitter platform, where you can archive your own data. So that is the second tool. Now let's move to the last one, which is Meltwater. Okay. So Meltwater is a media monitoring and analysis tool that covers online news and blogs, social media platform, and YouTube, right? And in our case at Code for Africa, we use it mainly to track and analyze conversation and trends around relevant topics on social media. So let's say you're doing an investigation on a specific topic. Meltwater, no. That is a problem. You need to subscribe, and there are, yeah. So, but it's a really nice tool that offers a lot of options. So in our use case at Code for Africa, we use it a lot, mostly when we are investigating some cases where the country where like our investigation, like the country is like the platform, the social media platform that is mostly used is Twitter. Let's say, for example, if you take the case of Nigeria, before the Twitter ban, so Twitter was very used, like a bit equal to Facebook. So which means if you want to do an investigation on a specific topic in Nigeria, you shouldn't just rely on Facebook, and you shouldn't just rely on Twitter as well. So you should do both of them, which means you need, as you did with CrowdTangle on Facebook data, you should do the same on Twitter with such a tool that is Meltwater. But unfortunately, it's not that free as CrowdTangle, right? But it's a nice tool, similar to CrowdTangle. The use cases are similar, the same syntax, same format, like booleans, keywords, booleans, code, etc. So if you can use CrowdTangle, you can use Meltwater. So to run Meltwater, you just need to define queries. So boolean queries, as you did on CrowdTangle, with some operators that are the AND, the OR, and the AND not, right? So the AND, if you want to see two words or three keywords simultaneously. The OR, if you want to see just one of them. And the AND not is that you want to see, and that is you want to exclude a specific word, like none of, like the same example we did on Twitter, where we want to see Boko Haram and terrorism, but we don't want to see the word Islam, for example. So the AND not does the same, right? But one other thing with this tool Meltwater is that it provides some sentiment analysis. So the tool that you've seen so far, it just gives you a lot of data. So you see, okay, you have 1,000 posts and 500 likes, 300 shares, etc., etc. So those are some statistics. But this one is a little bit more advanced with the sentiment analysis. So you can know what are in people's mind. Like what are people thinking about a specific topic. So let's say you talk about a specific topic which is Boko Haram and terrorism on Twitter. You have a lot of results, but you can have the sentiment behind. Do people have a positive sentiment? Do people have a negative sentiment about it? Do people have like a neutral sentiment? So you have even more information rather than just having the number of tweets, the number of retweets, the number of people who share it, the number of people who like or dislike, etc., etc. Here you have like a very meaningful option, which is the sentiment analysis. You get to know what people think about it. Right? Try top authors, like who are the people who are posting the most on a specific topic. So if you mention Boko Haram and terrorism, who are the Twitter users who are mostly active around that topic, which is terrorism or that is related to Boko Haram, right? So let us try Meltwater and see how it works. Okay, so here is the platform. Okay. Okay. So let us come to explore. Okay. So here we want to we can do like create a keyword search, or we can create an advanced search. So the advanced search is equivalent to what you did with CrowdTangle, with the Boolean operators, etc. So let's say we're looking for Boko Haram. Okay, so since it's two words, we have to put them. So we're looking for Boko Haram and terrorism. Okay. So Boko Haram, we want to see okay. So we want to see Boko Haram and terrorism, or Boko Haram and rape. Right. So if it's just one word, you don't need quotes. Yeah, if it's just one word, you don't need. But if you leave it like that, it doesn't change. So you want Boko Haram and terrorism, or Boko Haram and rape, or Boko Haram and kill. Right. So let's see. So the source type from this platform, Meltwater, you can get data from blogs, from comments, from Facebook, but it's not as efficient as CrowdTangle is for Facebook data. You can get data from forum, from Instagram, news, Pinterest, Reddit, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. So let's say we're interested just in Twitter. Okay, so we're just looking at data from Twitter. The language, let's say we're interested in English data, or maybe let us not specify it. Okay, to the location. So you want posts maybe from Nigeria, or maybe from West Africa, or maybe posts from, if you don't specify, the posts will come from like all over the world. So from Africa, Europe, America, etc. Right? The sentiments, if you want, let's say you're looking at posts that have been classified as negative sentiment, or you're looking at posts that have been classified as being positive sentiment, etc. Right?
So these are some options you can play with, and you can also set the date range. So you're looking at data from when to when. So by default is for the last seven days. Okay. So you can specify for the last 14 days, this month, etc. And what you need to do is just to. Okay. So here you have the results. We have more than 7,000 posts that contain Boko Haram and any of these words during the last 14 days, right? So here is the evolution from May 5th to May 17th. So you can see that there is a spike here on May 13th, right? If you click on the spike, you can see what happened during that day. So what were people talking about on that day? So you can see, right? So you can see it here. And you can even classify it and see, okay, I want what is it? Like the tweets that have the highest reach, right? So you can see the most viral tweets that happened between on that day. And you can also look at the sentiment. So you can see top location. So most of the tweets came from Nigeria, followed by the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Ghana, etc., etc. So in Nigeria, so there were 650 accounts who made tweets related to this topic, Boko Haram and terrorism, or Boko Haram and any of these other words. And it even like highlighted the keywords that you're looking at. So you can see whenever there is one of the keywords you're looking at is in red. So you're looking at Boko Haram and any of this one. So we have here Boko Haram and terrorism. Here we have Boko Haram, terrorism, kill. So it's easy for you to see the keywords you're looking at. And from the sentiment you can see we have 52% of those posts shared a negative sentiment, right? Just 5% were classified as being positive in the sense that maybe they didn't say something that is harmful, yeah, something like that. And 41 remain neutral. So this is an interesting tool that helps to investigate Twitter data. And you can download. So on our end we already bought the pack, so here we can download the data. So once you have the data as a CSV file or Excel file, that's where you run some further data analysis, try to find some other insights. Right? Great. Any question? So these were the three tools we wanted to present for Twitter investigation. So these are just three among many others. So there are other tools that are similar most of the time. Like you have Twitternomy that is similar maybe to Tweetbeaver, to a lot of tools. They do almost the same thing, right? But the most important thing to know is when should you investigate on Twitter, or when should you investigate on Facebook. So Alan presented us an interesting tool which is YesStatCounter. So from this platform you can know for any country what is the largest social media platform. So if it happens that in a country the largest social media platform is Twitter, it means that you should do your investigation on Twitter. If it's Facebook, in some countries you will see that Facebook is used by 95% of the population, which means you don't necessarily need to investigate on Twitter because it's not really, it might not be relevant, right? So that's, that will be my presentation for today. Thank you very much for your attention.
All right, thank you, Fadel. So I know it's actually a lot to consume in one day, but I'm hoping you kind of are getting the idea that the first thing is you can actually get information from social media, right? That is the main point. You don't have to use the only sources of your information as ground research You don't have to use the only source of information as the government, as all the other sources of information that you normally use. You can actually also use social media as a source of information. And it's usually powerful because you get the perspective that no one else has. Yeah, like what are the citizens actually saying related to a specific topic. And you can even find announcements or posts that are most relevant to your topic, but they are only present on social media. Yeah. So, just one final session we have today. Yes, we have questions. Or are you tired? Unfortunately, this presenter would need to do it. It is a very quick demo, 15 to 20-minute demonstration. It's a tool for media monitoring. It's your realm, so you should be able to actually need this tool. And so this is a tool where many people use it to research what has been published before related to the topic. So you've seen here we are looking at social media. What are the citizens saying related to the topic? But what if you wanted to know, has anyone else published a story, an article in the media, even in Kenya, even in Nigeria here, and you compare notes and now look at what else can I do? So you don't have to replicate something that has already been done before. We do that through what we call media monitoring. At Code for Africa, we created a tool called Civic Signal. So that tool is very powerful because we ingest, I think, about 400 newsrooms, like digital news outlets here in Nigeria alone. So that means you actually have a lot of information, and we collect all the articles all of you publish every single day. That means we have like all that data seated somewhere. All you need to do is use it to now find what has someone else published and what can I even look at myself. So you are able to, first of all, identify the gaps in the stories that have been told related to the topic, but also you're also able to build the knowledge base. Like if you have no idea what has happened over the last 10 years, if you just build a query and you search on this tool, then you're able to see from 2000 and something what has been published in the first place, what has happened before. You can even have reference points. Someone else said this, at this time this happened, then now you use it in your stories. Which is important because I think having that historical knowledge is really, really powerful for you to write a very powerful story. All right. I don't know if our team is ready. So this session will be presented by our Deputy CEO at Code for Africa. He's based in South Africa, so we are going to zoom him in. I don't know if there are any questions as we do that.
Question.
Yes.
I wanted to ask that. Why didn't you give us access to meltwater?
So the reason we can't give access to meltwater is, as I mentioned, we are paying a license, annual license for users, for the number of users. So we are not able to add an additional user at the moment.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But we are always available to provide any information that you need. We'll try and see if there is a possibility of course, us getting additional access. Yeah, I think it's just because it's quite expensive to give everyone access. Yeah. So, all right. Any other question? Any other question? No one is asking me YouTube, and we see YouTube there. YouTube is one of the best sources of information there. Yes? You okay? Just send me the link, then I can. You send me the link.
It's just a moment we're trying to set up.
connecting.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Joseph.
Okay. Yes, you're live now.
Great, now I'll begin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Great, I'm not sure who's in the room, so it's a little bit scary, but hello, everybody. And I'm here to give you a quick 15-minute tutorial on our Civic Signal Media Cloud platform. Just want to quickly set a timer so I don't go over. So I think it's been a long day for everybody already. So the person who is supposed to be giving you this quick demo is Amanda Stradom, who is our Senior Program Manager for Civic Signal. She's unfortunately taken ill, but not with COVID. So I've just quickly jumped in to do it for her. And the department that she manages, Civic Signal, uses machine learning platforms to monitor and basically map the media ecosystems in Africa. And that's kind of an important part of the data that we use at Code for